For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the PopCulturists PlayStation Podcast. With 40 years of playing PlayStation and 10 plus years in that games me combined, I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, come and check out our socials. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and X is still a dumb name. Come check those out. All those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturists. We can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast service, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I endeavour to answer every single comment. And if you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/popculturists, as well as our merchandise store, popculturists.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. You look deep in thought there, Max. What's got you pondering?
No, Paz just finally replied.
Oh, good on him.
I know, right?
Yeah. So how's the things? How goes it all?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah,
Not too bad at all.
that's good to know.
Spent my week fighting with the Victorian government because they won't give me my money for solar panels.
Oh no!
They're like, you didn't upload your rates notice correctly. We don't have it. I'm like, you provided me with a link. It's the only place I could have uploaded it. How the fuck do you not have it? Oh, I don't know. We'll send you another link, and then you'll have to wait another 5 to 8 business days to be reapproved. I'm just like, you fucking kidding me?
God damn it!
Like, I want my free money, you fucks.
Well, how much? I do appreciate that we start, this gaming related podcast with our own adult dramas that are relevant to anything.
Just bashing the government.
Yeah, normally it's oh man, this or
$2,800.
Oh, okay.
$2,800.
You're like, oh, my job, oh, my family, oh, this thing. It's like how every show for us starts, and it's always like, that's not engaging, that's not entertaining.
But other than that, it's been a pretty good week.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Myself.
Actually, we did. Sorry, I will point out, just because you mentioned what did you do about family? We got some interesting news this week.
Oh yeah.
As you all know, my wife, we're expecting our second child.
That is true.
It turns out it's going to be here much sooner than anticipated.
How so?
Could be here by the end of August.
Wait, what? How?
So, basically, he's real big.
You big boy?
He's real big.
Got them Max jeans.
He's currently bigger than Hadley was when Hadley was born.
Oh no! Oh no!
And he's only 32 weeks done. So.
Wow!
So we're hoping to push it to the 37-week mark, which is like mid-September, but they're like, might have to be end of August.
Like, he's gonna blow apart your vagina. I highly encourage you to have him now.
So apparently his head's sitting underneath my wife's rib cage at the moment.
And just destroying her fucking diaphragm.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, good times.
Oh, it's incredible for us because we're not having no experience of her. It sounds real bad.
Yeah. But other than that, this week's been pretty
Because isn't it wasn't the little one supposed to be like PAX weekend?
Yeah, October.
Like that's granted he's gonna be real big, but isn't there greater other risks?
Maybe. Well, that's why they're hoping to get to 37 weeks is the safe zone.
Because I was born 6 weeks early and I was fucked. I was fucked up.
What do you mean was? Still are.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yeah. Well, once again, you're not wrong.
You're just an asshole.
Yeah. When I was born, I was told that I was in fact growth retarded, exact words, and I was only ever going to be like 5'2" and skinny. Joke's on them, tall and fat, eat a dick. Take that, medical doctors with your degrees. Not happening.
Yeah.
Well, my week didn't have any, hey, suddenly you might have a giant baby. I was up in Sydney this week for work.
At the old meme college for the week.
I was at old meme college, yep. Do it the meme offices. Making all my bullshit, which was cool. That was fun.
Putting out all the fires that Lizzo started.
Oh, man. That was a fun morning. So for those that don't know, I work at the Manshake, right? I'm the content and community manager. So the Batuta Advocate told no one, just drops this article over this week. It was just like Lizzo instructed they're a satire website. But the satire was that Lizzo had forced all her female dancers to drink the Manshake, which we were like, can we use this in some way? So we did have a small meeting of like, can we twist this? And I'm like, well, we have all those videos of Warren. He's doing the dancing. I can crop him into some fucking Lizzo shit. That'd be funny. That was pretty funny. We didn't use it, but it was very funny. So yeah, it was a good like 3 hours of us like, let's see where this goes. How's it going to happen? Can we use this? Can we exploit this? Nah. Short answer is no. It's a cool idea though. What I got up to on the weekend though? Friday was pretty chill. Yesterday, time of recording, so we record on Sunday. So Saturday, I was over at Seaford at APW doing commentary for them again. That was awesome. And today, as I said, I have done diddly shit after being interstate and like that whole level of draining. You know, as I talked about, as much as I enjoy my job and my co-workers are cool, they're all normies, and me being super neurodivergent is no. So I needed to like have some time and just be neurodivergent. So today I played some games. I watched Seinfeld and some Always Sunny. And that was my day. I was like, well, seeing as I didn't get home till like 3 o'clock this morning as well from the wrestling, I was like, I'm going to jack shit today. And I kind of just did nothing. I think I dozed on and off on the couch. And as a result, I'm like so tired. Because normally I'm used to functioning on minimalistic sleep. But now that I've like topped up throughout the day, I feel like garbage. But we do have a show to get to, and we do have some things to talk about. As I mentioned, did play a little bit of the games. Now, Max, there are 2 games that we can finally talk about.
Yeah.
And they are?
So, thanks to the team over at 5 Star Games, we have been checking out Atlas Fallen.
Yeah!
It's had a complete mind blank of what I've been playing.
This was a game that caught your attention, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so this caught my attention. I believe it was showcased off at one of the Sony showcases a while back. It was giving me because it was very much shown off as a cooperative combat game. So I'm like, oh, it kind of looks like Destiny, kind of looks like Outriders. It's got this cool movement system in it. It looks really good. You know, it's touching all those wheelhouses that I like, all that stuff. I've been playing it predominantly solo, and all the time it's like, hey man, this is built to be played multiplayer. You sure you don't want to play multiplayer? You sure you don't want to like, match make and find some multiplayer? I'm like, no, for now I'm just cool chilling by myself. So this game, you play as a nameless person. In this world, they are so unimportant that they would
the
never
class
designate
system
them.
that you live with, your character lives within.
Yeah. So you're basically the lowest of the low in the hierarchy of the social strata, and you are nameless. And you are, you start off in an encampment that you're oppressed as shit by these military wank nuts in a nutshell. And you early on you go out and you find this magical gauntlet. Now, stop me if you've heard this story before.
Yeah, I had some interesting exchanges while playing it this week.
And then you start to save your fellow man, and you go off on this mystical journey as to how the gauntlet possesses its powers, how it's helping you what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Like uh, basically break the social structure that exists in this world. So I'm fairly early on in this game. I think I played about 6-ish hours at the moment. Um, it's very different to what my first initial thoughts were when I saw the first trailer.
I completely agree.
It turns out it's not like a Destiny and Outriders. It's like Monster Hunter. Which is fine. I like Monster Hunter. It's fun. The sand skating movement system that they showed off a lot is really cool, but the second you step off sand, you're walking, and it sucks.
Oh yeah.
Traversal becomes real shit when you can't skate on the sand. The map is fairly large and open at the moment where I'm up to, and thankfully I am like balls deep in a desert, so the majority of the time I am doing that fun sand skating thing. The enemies, to a degree so far from what I've played, again, still early on, are, fairly different and unique, which is cool. You kind of have to fight them each in their own individual way to take them down, because they have what they refer to in game. I believe it's the terminology they use is the core. So you have to destroy the core. So sometimes the core is just not apparent until you knock off certain parts of the creature itself, and so on and so forth. The story itself, again, early on, but so far is, less than desired. It's that trope of this magical artifact used to belong to this magical group of I think it's knights in this game. And you're essentially on a quest to reawaken the powers of the gauntlet. So you're doing a lot of those fetch quests of like, go and find this upgrade point, go find that upgrade point, and then as you do, the glove becomes stronger, you get more powers. It has a very interesting skill tree where you actually find the skills in the outer game and you have to slot them into the gauntlet to make it work. It has in combat, I believe it's called the momentum bar.
Yes.
Yeah, so as you the higher your combo, the more damage you do, but the more damage you take.
Yes.
So it's that risk reward of you can keep going hard, but they're going to hit you just as hard back. But as you progress the momentum bar, there's 3 separate stages in it. It will unlock different special attacks, essentially, of what you can do. Most of them are fairly big, bombastic AoE attacks, which are useful. Others you can put passive skills in, so you take less damage as your momentum bar fills to offset that risk reward system that they have in place. I'm enjoying my time with it. Again, it's fairly early. It's fairly bland. It's fairly by the books as a fantasy goes. It's not doing anything that I haven't seen before.
Very nice. Very
but it is fun enough that I'm going to keep playing it.
Excellent. So before I jump in, big shout out to the Mullet Show for resubscribing for another month at Tier 1. They've been subscribed for 65 months. And they said, fuck, it's cold. It is cold. I said, after being in Sydney, where like when I flew in, 10 degrees difference from Sydney to Melbourne, and it was horrible.
Yeah, when I drove home from work the other night, it was fucking -2 degrees.
Ew. Spring. Please come sooner, spring. But yeah, so like for me,
have you been feeling on it?
Look, I've really put like an hour in it, an hour and a bit, maybe.
I literally said, watch the trailer. It could be for you, and you're like, oh, this looks alright.
And I watched the trailer, and I was like, oh, cool. And you're like,
I said the word Outriders, and you're like, oh, I liked Outriders.
Yeah, you like Outriders. I'm like, I like Outriders. Outriders is cool. All right, let's give this a bell. And then I boot it up, and then I'm going, wow, this game's AA as hell. And that was the exact message I sent to you. I was like, oh, this game is painfully AA. Which is not a bad thing entirely, but like the lip sync's like a bit jack. The voice, like the dialogue is poo. Like the delivery is not very good. Like it's very overly bland. Emotive. Yeah, but like not in a real naturally sort of way. It is essentially Forspoken with less budget. Even down like as you're a nobody, and then you get your gauntlet, and that gauntlet talks to you, and then you use it to have powers. And I'm like, okay, so clearly Forspoken, Atlas Fallen had a similar idea. One was better, and both of them weren't that great, but one was better. It's not this one. But that's me. As I said, I've only put an hour into it, so I've barely done anything of note. For me, I found like it just controlled a bit weird. It visually, it's fine.
The camera movement is so ridiculously sensitive.
Yeah.
I had to go into the options and turn everything way down.
Which makes sense when you get to the point where you can like speed run dunes. Like you want that high like camera movement so you can adjust accordingly. But when you're just walking and you bump the stick and it's like, you know, you're like, oh, hang on.
I'm at the point now where I have like double jumps and 2 air dashes, so I'm just literally just flying around. So
avoiding any actual walking.
Does make sense to have the high camera, but at the start it doesn't ease you into it. It's just jacked up to 11 straight away.
Yeah. And like I said, like for me, it's not singing to me, but nor did I really expect it to, as this was most definitely a Max game than it was a Betson game. But I'm interested to check it out a little bit at least. Like I it just happened to the code came in just before I left for Sydney, so I've not really been able to give it a go.
We'll have to put some time up. We'll have to try and organize a time where we're both online at the same time and try the multiplayer. Because obviously, it has been from memory, it has been very much touted to be a multiplayer game, like a cooperative game. So I wonder how different it plays just having someone extra in the world.
Yeah, and that does make sense from, like I said, that even the momentum system alone, which builds up, you know, like which indicates from a monster hunter space, is you got some big bads coming, and an additional body would be very helpful.
For sure.
Anything you want to add on to that one?
No, I think I pretty much, because I'm so early in. I think I've summed up my time with it so far, but I'm definitely looking forward to going back and getting more done.
Yeah, and it's very likely we'll have more to say over the coming weeks as Max will no doubt keep going. But speaking of games that are great with multiple players, the other one we've been playing is Moving Out 2. So this code was nicely gifted to us from Paul James Games at Player 2, who I believe he received them from Team 17, the publishers for this game. This game's from Australian team SMG, best known for Death Squared and Moving Out 1. So Moving Out 2 is essentially take Moving Out 1, make it look better, make it run better, make cool new levels, have fun. Like more characters, more costumes. The game's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good fun. It is. I mean, the first game was great fun, and now that it is running better, looking smoother, all that jazz. The variety in different levels is just, it's so much fun. I've already said to a lot of I've got a group of friends who all play PlayStation together. It's launching on PlayStation Plus. I'm like, guys, we have to get this game. This is going to be our next game that we all play together. It's going to be fun. It should be great. Yeah. Have you ever wanted to move out of your house and just throw shit out the top floor window? Because I certainly have.
Yeah. And one of the things the game brought in as well, so for the base game, for Moving Out 1, there was a DLC called, I think it was just called Moving In or something. The idea was that you rather than moving out, you move furniture back in. So that sprinkles within the main game here rather than being a separate little function. So in the first one, you complete the game and go, oh, well, do you want to go back to it and move shit into this new house, into that house? Where here it's kind of like a mode within the story. But yeah, so like it's interesting. Like it looks better, it runs better. Like it weirdly runs smoother somehow. I think it's running at a higher frames than it did previously. Not that it ran bad the first time. Yes, there is a lot more different biomes, for lack of a better term, in that you have the main residential space that you have in the first game, and then you expand it into like a futuristic world, like a magic world. You know, I think there's like 5 different realms. I've only seen 3 of them at the moment, being the standard one, the futuristic one, and the magic one. Where the original had the main area, kind of a second one, and a little bit of a third. It was like maybe 3 levels here and 1 or 2 in the final one. So they didn't really have the scope. Where here, each area or biome has numerous levels within it, so you're getting a really good like taste and swatch I don't know, that's a good word, of various levels and fun to have. So, of course, it has the standard, hey, get more stars the quicker you do it. Here's little weird side objectives with each level, like, don't break any windows, or, put all the pieces of poop into the truck, or, don't let the goose get away, or, these little fun objectives for each mission. So, obviously, the more you do, the more stars you get. I'm finding there are some levels, Max, that like it's really easy to get the pro time, and then some are a lot harder.
It's almost like the game was designed to be played with more people.
Yeah, speaking of playing with more people, if you go to head over to player2.net.au or their YouTube channel, you can hear myself, Max, and Paul James and Buddy Watson try to be a coherent team.
Yeah, it all goes to shit very quickly.
Yeah, very quick. Because, I have gone back and replayed one this week as well, or early this week. So I rolled credits on that, which was awesome. And then I went straight into 2. And because I played the entire first game by myself, I forget that it's co-op. In that, the second we enter that 4-player mode, I'm like, all right, and I'm doing it as if I normally would. And
well, I want to point out that it all turned to shit because you started slapping people, and then everyone realized that we could slap each other, and then it all just turned into this shitstorm of us knocking each other off.
That's true. I did smack you into oblivion in that future level.
Although I did use it for good on one of the levels. I'm like, Buddy's like, I'm going to take the teleporter. I'm like, or I could just smack you across the gap.
And it worked.
So that was good fun.
So how much have you played of it by yourself?
Oh, none.
No.
I played the tutorial by myself right before playing with you three for the Player 2 Play stuff. And I haven't gone back yet because I know I just want to play a multiplayer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For me, it's kind of become the game that I'm just defaulting to at the moment.
And I know that if I go in and play it solo, I'll also be like, when I play it with friends, I'll be like,
oh, this is how we do it.
You fucks are doing it wrong. This is how it needs to be done, and I don't want to do that.
That makes complete sense. I understand that. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I've I couldn't tell me. I've done like 20 or 30 levels or something, 20, 25, somewhere around there. Yeah, and it's good. I really enjoy it. I'm having fun. But yeah, it's that same thing. It's just kind of like, okay, cool. Let's do it myself, and it's got local co-op as well as online co-op, which is awesome. Yeah, so I've only experienced the multiplayer from playing with yourselves. But no, I'm really, really enjoying it. And as I've mentioned, I've been in a bit of a funk as of late, not really finding a game that has been singing to me. And I guess the sort of pick up and play nature of this game has allowed me to sort of, all right, cool, well, I'll play for a little bit. I don't have to like super invest myself in, knowing that I'm just not caring at the moment. Pardon me, which certainly makes it easier to be like, all right, well, I'll just do this for a little bit and I'll try get the pro time. Oh, the hiccups now apparently. Like I'll try get the pro time and then I'll bounce, which has been really cool, really cool. But yeah, great game. Is viable as part of PlayStation Plus this month, which we'll get to shortly. What else have I been playing? So weirdly, as I mentioned last week, I was being in the little rut that I am, and I'm like, well, I'm enjoying the games like your Moving Outs, etc., which does tell me like maybe it's that sort of repetitive grind is what I'm getting excited for, right? Maybe that's something that's kind of piquing my interest, that not having to think too hard, just jumping in. So as a result, I did download Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Far Cry 5. So Far Cry 5 did have a semi-recently PS5 update. It's a PS4 version, but it reads it like a pro, so you can play it at 60 frames, etc. So that's been pretty cool. And then I went into Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I started the game fresh, and I went, oh, this is actually really cool. I'm liking returning to Valhalla. The Norse setting is still pretty fantastic. Ivor is great as a character. I like where it's going. I know it's still on your list of games I should have finished in 2022, which you never did because it's bold strategy, Cotton.
Probably never will.
No, probably never will.
Way too big.
Yeah. But yeah, so jumping back into that's pretty cool because it's still early days, so still in that first area. But yeah, it's cool, and it's ticked that box a little bit so far, which I appreciate. What yourself, Max? Is there anything that's jumping out of you?
I rolled credits on Remnant 2.
Oh, nice! You finally beat the boss.
finally beat the boss. So I beat the end game boss twice this week.
After all that struggle.
Yeah, so we had reset our campaign about 3 separate times just to grind it out a little bit more. And for whatever reason, we went from like dying in phase 1 to literally neither of us going down for the entire fight.
Nice.
Whatever happened, it just clicked for us that time. We got it done. Then I went in and did it solo and actually managed to one-shot the boss with my summoner build. It was funny. I walked into the fight. There was a cutscene. The fight happened. There was another cutscene to signify phase 2, and then there was another cutscene straight away to finish the game.
So you just went Hadouken, and then
I didn't even shoot a bullet. I just fucking walked in there and it died. I'm like, cool.
How?
So there was a there was a weird interaction between a certain item and the summoner class. So the summoner class has a passive health regeneration skill, and the ring gave you haste when regaining health. So because I was constantly regaining health, I was constantly gaining haste, and for some reason it stacked infinitely, and my creatures deal more damage the faster I am. So I just walked in and did like 30,000 damage in one hit because I was just juicing.
You were just up on the roids. You went in and decimated them all. That's genuinely quite impressive.
But your haste stacks reset whenever you reload or you shoot. So I couldn't do anything. I had to just run around and hope that my minions would actually hit the boss. So it just
was that a conscious decision heading into that thing?
Oh yeah, I knew that there was a weird interaction with it. So I'm like, I'm gonna try this out for myself. And
yeah, knowing your love of min maxing and being like fucking sweaty when it comes to D&D. Or role playing, I should say.
Well, speaking of D&D, I will move on to more Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
My poor computer had a rough time last night. In Baldur's Gate 3, there's a lot of different ways that you can handle combat. You know, you can fight it out normally as a D&D encounter, or you can do what a lot of people online have coined the term barrelmancy. So basically, barrelmancy. Okay. So I used to do it in Divinity 2. Basically, you just carry around a bunch of explosive barrels.
Yep.
On your turn, you just fucking drop all the barrels on the battlefield, fucking blow everyone up. So in Baldur's Gate 3, there's similar things. So, you know, there's smoke bombs, there's bottles of grease that catch on fire, there's acid bottles, there's all these things that will affect the terrain that will deal damage to an enemy. Turns out if you put all of those potions in a bag, you can just throw the bag instead of throwing each individual potion. And then you set the bag on fire, and then all the potions in the bag all detonate at the same time.
Oh my God.
So I've now started yeeting satchels of fucking explosives at people, blowing them up. But there's an interesting it happened last night. I actually re-rolled my character. I wasn't having fun with it. I was playing a monk and I wasn't having fun. So I swapped to Bard. I'm running 3 separate campaigns with 3 different groups.
Well, remember last week you were saying I want to be a Bard. I'd rather be a Bard.
I'm running Bards in all 3 campaigns. Fairly early on in the game, you stumble across a village filled with ogres. And I walk in, the ogre's like, "Are you friend or food?" I'm like, "I'm friend." I convinced these people that I was their friend, and they're like, "Well, we're fighting for the goblins." And I'm like, "Hey, I want to kill the goblin. How about you help me kill these goblins, and once you've killed them, I will pay you 1,000 gold." And they're like, nah, we want to be paid up front. I'm like, no, you can trust me. I'm a bard. I will pay you. And they're like, okay. I rolled to deceive them. They're like, yep, cool, we're happy with that. And I warned my friend, I'm like, hey, just to let you know, at the end of this battle, if I'm calling these guys in, they're gonna want their 1,000 gold, and I don't fucking have 1,000 gold. Okay, so we're gonna fucking cross this bridge. We may have to kill these assholes when we're finished.
Okay.
Battle finishes, and he's like, "Where's my fucking 1,000 gold, dude?" And I'm like, "How about you stay and fight again, and I'll give you 2,500 gold next time." Rolls the dice, succeeds. And he's like, "Okay, you blow my horn later, and I'll come running with my mates, and we'll 2,500 gold deal." So we're gonna cross that bridge next time that happens. 'Cause, spoiler, I still don't even have the 1,000 gold that I was supposed to pay the first time. The game is so much fun. In all three of my campaigns, they're all going a completely different way because of the gameplay style that I play differently with each person. Everything's going crazy. Like, you know, in one campaign, I saved the refugees. In another, they accidentally were all murdered by the druids because I kind of accidentally like caused dissent between them and the druids that they were living with, and the druids were like, well, fuck these guys then, and they killed them all. And the third one, I got arrested for pickpocketing. Turns out I didn't do a very good job. So now I'm on the run. Anytime I go into town, they're like, hey, thief.
Hey, you're
stop.
the guy that stole the thing that one time.
They're like, how did you get out of prison, motherfucker? So
and you're like, I'll give you $2,500 if you fuck off.
That's what got me in jail. The guys, I'm like, here's 50 gold to look the other way. He's like, I don't play that way, fool. And locked me up.
I'm like, oh no, I'm arrested. No.
Picks lock and gets out straight away. The game is so much fun. It's just, it's the closest thing available to playing D&D in a virtual space.
Yeah, and that's sort of the reviews that I've been hearing of it. Is like, if you want that like true tabletop role playing experience, weirdly, this is the one, which is very interesting.
Yeah, so you know, I said it last week. It's got cross save with PlayStation. If you want to check it out now, you can. It's available on PC. If not, September 6th, coming to PlayStation 5. Fucking great.
How is it? Like, how's the menus and the UI? Like, do you think it would translate pretty easy to console?
I think it would suck bumhole on a controller. Don't know anyone who play. I know it has full controller support on the PC version. So, like, if you were training yourself to play controller to begin with, it probably would be fine. But just having that freedom of point and click with a mouse, because there are a lot of different stuff in the hotbar, in the action bar.
So I'm just currently going to pull up Steam, funny enough. See how much it is. Oh, hang on.
It's $120.
Shit. Well, I know that's cost on the consoles. And is it the same?
I bought it in early access for like $40.
I know, and I hate you.
3 years ago.
It's $89.95 on the Steam store.
Okay. Oh, so that's because it's the basic edition,
Yeah, so it's $90 dues, or you get the deluxe edition for an extra $14.50.
Yeah.
So it makes it 100 and something, right? So,
I mean, granted, value for money, like just in an hourly value, I'm still in Act 1, and I've been playing for like 50-ish hours.
Yeah, I can certainly understand that. I'm like, cause I'm not a really big CRPG guy normally.
Yeah.
The only one that really got me was probably Disco Elysium, and even then the amount of choice and variability actually made me really anxious, because I'm like, oh, what if I fuck it up? What if I make the wrong choice? It's like that, and I know obviously with my old job being tabletop, like, you know, we just
got to do that save scumming, dude. Just gotta like hit that quick save before every dialogue option, just in case you fuck it up.
Yeah, no, it's brutal. So
or you play how I play and you live and die with your consequences.
Yeah, no, that makes me anxious because I think I'm playing. No, I think I'm playing the game wrong, and then I go, ugh. But yeah, $90 I'd probably be okay with. Not right now, but I'd probably be okay with it. But yeah, 129 or whatever it is on the PlayStation. Rough.
Should have bought it in early access.
Yeah, I didn't have a PC that could play it there.
But other than that, that's pretty much it. That's all I've been playing this week.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, no one's sort of in the same boat. I was hoping to play WrestleQuest this week.
Oh, actually, no. There is one other thing that I played.
Yeah.
I'll just touch upon it like super, super quick because I only played like an hour or two. Played the MMO Palia.
Oh, yeah. Pals of Palia, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's basically, it's better than an MMORPG. There's fucking, so far, no combat. It's just farming and fishing and house building. It fucking sucks.
With dinosaurs.
I mean, it looks good.
Is that the dinosaur one?
I don't think there's any dinosaurs. If there are, I haven't seen any.
Is it on a console or is it on the PCs?
On Switch and PC only.
Ow.
It's very bizarre. You have a brand new PC. It's free to play. It's farming. It's It's a 3D Stardew Valley.
Palia. How do you spell it?
Palia.
Is it on the Switch? On
It's
Steam?
three. Yes. No. Maybe. I don't know.
Palia.
I went to their website and downloaded their launcher directly.
Oh. Well,
It's literally 3D Stardew Valley.
All right.
But
Well, then I have
Stardew Valley kind of has combat, but this doesn't, to my knowledge.
Palia. Let's have a squiz.
It's
One. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting this
Moon, the
mixed
MMO.
up with another one. Yeah.
It's Harvest Moon, the MMO.
Oh. Yeah. This is pretty sick. Oh, 'cause it's in open beta. Oh. Okay. Oh. Hello. Oh, look at all these cool little characters. Oh, I can be a cat man with keys. Oh no, he's just the shopkeeper. Oh.
So you were before I rudely cut you off. You were about to say that you were looking forward to WrestleQuest, but it got delayed the day of launch.
I gotta sign up. I'll do that later. Yeah. So WrestleQuest was meant to come out this week, as we discussed a couple weeks ago. Where it's this cool little 2.5D wrestling game where you play as an action figure and you go around and wrestle a bunch of old wrestlers, whether it be like Diamond Dallas Page, Macho Man Randy Savage, Jake the Snake Roberts, etc., which is very weird and very silly. But yeah, it was originally meant to come out on Thursday, but then literally the morning of, delayed to the 22nd. So because I was leaving the Tuesday morning that it was coming out, and I was like, all right, cool. Well, I will download it before I go, because it launches at, it didn't launch at midnight. I'm like, all right, well, I'll go to bed and I'll wake up and I'll download it before I fly out. And it didn't. I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be one of those ones where it's gonna go live at 3 in the afternoon or something. Yeah. All right, cool. And then sure enough, yeah, and then about midday, out comes one of those PNGs. Sorry. Well, the apology JPEGs being like, hey, it turns out we had a problem where there's a bug where it will just delete save files. So
yeah, apparently there was a gnarly game progression bug where the game couldn't progress past a certain point.
So they were like, yeah, we're just gonna hold it until the 22nd. And I was like, oh, that's a good reason though. That is a really good reason. Rather than saying, oh, it just needs polishing or whatever, I do truly have put my respect out there to the studio for going, this is why, and we have to delay it for these reasons, rather than being like, ooh, we're just going to do some bug fixes, we're just going to, make it prettier. They're like, no, it's kind of fucked, is what we've got to do. And yeah, big fan of that. Bug in WrestleQuest, yes, bug in WrestleQuest. So I ended up emailing them as well, because I was going to chase down a code for the console version, so wait and see on that one. I emailed them and they're like, oh yeah, cool, that we love, I did the whole, hey, I love games and I love wrestling, I actually work in wrestling, here's blah 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 blah. And they're like, that's sick. Yeah, but we can't help you out. They haven't talked to Skybound because they're publishing the games and they're the ones handing out keys. Here's the email. So I hit them up. Hopefully I'll hear something soon. But yeah, that's kind of it, I think. All right, let's get into the section we call In the Form of the Players, where we tell you about what happened this week in games. Now, first of all, Max, you haven't put us on one at the top, but it is the name of the episode, so we're going to kick things off with that. Only because I know, I sneakily made it the title. It's an endearing title.
Well,
not to talk about.
You can take it.
All right, I'm going to scroll down to where we find it in the quick pretties so we can expand on it. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so this week, after something that's been in the rumor mills for a little while, is the idea that Red Dead Redemption, the original on PlayStation 3, was getting some sort of remake or remaster. And then recently it was rated as part of the Korean ratings board. And we're like, oh shit, something's coming. Getting excited. And then we saw Rockstar, the logo for Rockstar Games presents Red Dead Redemption. Like, shit, something's coming. Get excited. Don't. Turns out it's a straight port from PS3 to PS4. That's right, not 5, 4. It'll be running at the same resolution, at 1080p, 30 frames. Multiplayer will be removed. You get Undead Nightmares. That's pretty cool. No various modes. No nothing. It's straight port. So for all those that wanted a remake in some capacity, whether it be remade into the Red Dead 2 engine or remastered to be able to run at the backwards compatibility function on Xbox at 4K 60, you're playing the original game, but backwards compatibility can make it pretty. No, fuck that noise. We get less than what Xbox gets right now from the original game. Coming to Switch and PC. Switching PlayStation, no PC.
For $100.
For $100. $50 US, $100 Australian. A 13-year-old game just moved from one platform to another. And admittedly, it's not even being made by Rockstar. Like they have with the GTA 3, the GTA remakes, they have farmed it off to a port studio. In this case, it wasn't Grove Street Games who did the remakes of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. Instead, they've gone with someone else. Now, for life of me, I can't remember the name. But yeah, so it's interesting that they've moved it across. Now, admittedly, the team, which I can't remember right now,
it's not that interesting considering the fucking shitstorm that was the GTA.
Well, that was what I was going to say. So they're like not coming off the GTA remakes, being like, "Hey, you made these so bad that we're gonna do it again." So they've gone the complete safest option of just doing nothing at all, which is interesting. But yeah, so the team that they've got, the team has done a bunch of various port works. They did some Fallout 76 stuff. They've done some of the Stardust Ultra, some moving stuff to Vita, etc. I love Red Dead Redemption. I think that game is brilliant. It's fantastic. And it always ran like ass on PS3. Always. So having it run better, mint. Coming to PS4, okay. Is it getting any pro support or any PS5 version? No. I can't believe that. Yeah, over on the other competing console, the base game, not this remastered, not this ported version, the original version, can self-upscale to 4K at 60, and everyone else gets nothing, or just gets the game at an exorbitant price. I titled this Red Dead Ripoff for a reason, because I believe it's a little bit unacceptable. For a number of reasons, right? We know that Rockstar and Take-Two have a stack of money, yet they've made the choice to not invest in Red Dead, so much so that like they didn't really invest in Red Dead Online in any capacity. Like the only thing they seem to want to fund or support is GTA Online. And I think this supports that, and it tells you exactly what their plans are. And like the rumor mill as of late is GTA 6 is as we know, it's in production. It's probably gonna be one of the most expensive games ever made. It's interesting. Max, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a fucking joke. I think I was trying to actually look up the price of a disc copy of Red Dead Redemption at the moment. But I can't because my fucking keyboard stopped working. So,
there was enough time you can get a second hand for like $20, not even at eBay.
I think they're cheaper now. That's what I wanted to look.
They'll suddenly spike back up again now that there's a bit of demand for them again.
Only Xbox versions. It's ridiculous. It's crazy stupid. And for someone at Take-Two to come out and be like, this is what we commercially believe that it's fucking worth.
They're like, oh, like everyone's like, why so much? It's like, well, that aligns with what everyone else is paying, so it's commercially accurate.
Here we go. So, Take-Two Interactive,
Strauss.
For a straight port, not a remaster, no enhancements outside of text in additional languages, no 60 frame upgrade, no enhanced assets, no resolution boost, fuck all. CEO Strauss Zelnick, just straight up quote, that's just what we believe is the commercially accurate price for it. Which is a fucking bold strategy when Baldur's Gate 3 is $10 more expensive.
Yeah. And it's a brand new game that is huge. Yeah, and not a 13-year-old game. Would you buy it?
No. I actually think I still have a disc version, and I could play it on Xbox.
Well, I have an Xbox version somewhere around here. So, because when I am my
There you go. If I can't find mine, I'll come and steal yours.
Because I previously had a Series S. Wait, 1S. A 1S. So I did buy it knowing that I could replay it, and it was awesome. But then I can't get trophies, so ball bags. But yeah, I'll probably wait till it goes on sale because screw paying $100. But it is tempting because I really like Red Dead Redemption. But for those you are watching at home or listening, be sure to let us know whether you'll be jumping on the Red Dead Redemption's report, I guess. It's way too much money. It's fucking stupid. For absolutely nothing. It's weird, like for a studio that has created the best selling piece of entertainment in history in GTA 5, and there is just swimming in dollars that they put the minimalist amount of work in. It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, Mute in the chat asked, "Is it really $100 in the AU?" Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
So I think currently we're getting like 60 cents to the dollar in the conversion. So it'd be like a $90 game.
Yeah, so for us, the way to think about it, because the standard price in the US for a brand new game is $60 or $70. I think it's 60. Our RRP for a game is $120. So it's essentially double it. So with the idea that this is launching at $49.95 US, it's reason to believe that it'll be sitting at $100 for Australian. Because right now you cannot see the pricing for it on either Switch or PS4. I hope that means they'll be contemplating altering that price, but no. All right. You want some bang for your bucks, though.
My guess is fuck off. But as you just alluded to, here are the games coming to the PlayStation Extra and Premium tiers. So they'll be launching on the 15th of this month. There are a few caveats in this. So the first one off the bat is Sea of Stars, PS5, PS4, isn't available till its launch date of the 29th of August. We have Dreams on PS4, Moving Out 2, PS5, PS4, Destiny 2, The Witch Queen, PS5, PS4, Lost Judgment, Destroy All Humans 2, Reprobed, PS5, PS4, 2 Point Hospital Jumbo Edition coming to PS4 only, Source of Madness, both, Curse to Golf, both, PJ Masks, Heroes of the Night, both, Hotel Transylvania, Scary Tale Adventures, both, Lawn Mowing Simulator, the Landmark Edition is coming to both, but not until the 28th of August. And lastly, we have Spellforce 3 Reforced and Midnight Fight Express, both coming to PlayStation 4. For Premium and Deluxe tiers, we have Medieval Resurrection PSP, Ape Escape on the Loose PSP, and Pursuit Force Extreme Justice PSP. Yes. Where are my PS1 classics, motherfuckers?
So the big ones of note here is Sea of Stars, Moving Out 2, The Witch Queen is pretty cool. 2 Point Hospital I had a lot of time with. PJ Mask Heroes of the Night I got for my son a while ago. And it's not very good.
And you know that you're going to play Lawn Mowing Simulator because you're a sucker for
No, I tried playing Lawn Mower Simulator, and it didn't do it for me. It really just didn't. But you are absolutely correct. Premium Deluxe, the Premium/Deluxe Edition, absolutely disgusting. And once again, very, very limited releases here.
Yeah.
Anything jumping out to you, Max?
Sea of Stars.
Yeah, the team behind from Messenger, which would be cool. Now, the thing that gets, excuse me excited is Atmos, the Dolby Atmos. We do know that the support's coming in one of the next updates, and Mark Cerny, lead architect over at the PlayStation, has had an interview with a Digital Foundry explaining exactly how Dolby Atmos works within the system's upcoming firmware update. He says, quote, "Up until the most recent update, the Tempest engine would render the information in ambisonic channels into headphones, stereo TV speakers, and 5.1 and 7.1 audio setups," he explained. Quote, "Now 7.1.4 has been introduced, so that's 7 facing inward speakers, 1 subwoofer, and 4 shooting upward," just for those playing at home. And that's essentially what it says with its 4 overhead speakers. But nothing really changes in the overall Tempest rendering strategy. The 36 ambisonic channels already include audio coming from all directions, including above the player. He added, it is true that the game teams could not test with these speaker setups, but support should be pretty automatic. The necessary game audio data is already there in ambisonic form. Going forward, there's an opportunity for improvement as the sound designers can verify the highest quality of audio on 7.1.4 speaker setups as well. So, in the other words, the Tempest audio system is already rendering sound in a 3D space, and that information is then simply being mapped to Dolby Atmos format. When a user has the requisite hardware, like this guy, moving forward, audio engineering teams will likely test their mixes in the 7.1.4 for optimal quality, but the transition should be fairly automatic, even in games programmed before the firmware update. So I love my Atmos setup. A good friend of the show, Chris, who works at a local sort of hardware retailer, was he always one that organized me my exceptional TV. And then I went back and be like, I need a good sound bar. And he's like, here's this one. It's this incredible Samsung Atmos setup. Watching movies in it is incredible. As you experience, things coming up and above you and over you. It's awesome. Like Star Wars is actually surprisingly really good in Atmos run. Any of the MCU stuff is really good. Top Gun Maverick has that really cool. And so yeah, it does excite me to sort of play various games. Like Starfield would be one, even though I'm probably playing on PC. Max, because you just use your standard TV speakers, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a bar or nothing? Oh.
No, not yet. It's on the list. It's on the list. We'll get there eventually.
Does the idea of games in Atmos get you excited?
No, because I only play games with headphones, so it's not a big deal. And they already do surround sound anyway, so it's not a huge issue for me. Because I can't stand playing games on a TV.
I get that. But yeah, like as I said, knowing there's going to be mostly an automatic transition as well, because the last thing is like, hey, we have this new support. It's like when they did the PS Pro. Like, hey, here's the PS4 Pro. Games can receive patches to make them run better. Is it mandatory? No. Are we doing anything? No. So it's completely on the dev side. Did anyone do it? Not really.
Yeah.
So
it is good that it's going to be an automatic transition. It's already kind of sort of built in.
Yeah, support.
Cool.
The previous supports for new models are a bit shit, but PlayStation have been hit and miss when they come to the new models. So.
Well, speaking of new models,
it's almost like I knew what the next story was.
There's been some slim leaks. So an image was uploaded to the Chinese forum of A9VG, claiming to show what
who
the
doesn't know A9VG, Max?
To show what the rumored new PS5 Slim model could look like. Since then, a video has been uploaded to the website formerly known as Twitter, showing off what it claims to be the PlayStation 5 Slim. It's a short, it's like a 30-second video, showing pretty much a very similar looking structure. It's got
just holding in it. It's got like the light through the metal, very similar to the 4.
The disc looks way fatter. The disc area looks way fatter. And then obviously from Insider Gaming,
I love in the chat the Reverend Park themselves. If I had $1 every time I heard about A9VG, I'd still be broke. Yeah, I would be in the exact same position I was right now.
Yeah. So Insider Gaming's Tom Henderson, who has correctly reported a number of PlayStation 5 hardware-related releases, including the upcoming PlayStation earbuds and the Project Q streaming device, did also point out that the PS5 Pro is in the works and that this leak should be taken with a grain of salt as it is completely unverified. So he's not ruling it out that it doesn't exist, but it is completely unverified. All those videos are still online at the moment. Nothing's been copyright struck or taken down or anything like that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Although it is claimed that Sony plans to release the model next month. So we'll find out soon if it's real or not.
This is a tough one for me because I have my PS5 standard, it's fine. But now that I travel interstate often, I'll take it with me, but it weighs 6 kilos. You know what the carry-on limit is, Max?
Yeah, fuck all.
7 kilos. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My entire carry-on.
Just wrap it in a towel and put it in your fucking checked luggage.
No way. You've seen what they do to check luggage.
Well, I said wrap it in a towel. Bubble wrap that bitch.
No, I just put it in a backpack and put everything else in my checks. That's fine. So the idea of a slimmer version does entice me, which, and it'd be cool. Because even like I was kind of thinking, I don't have the money to do it, but I'm like, oh, wouldn't that be nice if I could have the digital edition that I would take to Sydney with me? Because there's no disc drive and I can just put the games that I want to play on it and take it up there. That'd be brilliant.
One thing that was shown off was they showed the power supply unit.
Yeah.
Apparently it is smaller than the current iteration, but is no less power efficient.
Oh.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, I remember that, like, when was it the PS3? It was the PS3. It had the equivalent power consumption of a fridge. Just because it was a fucking beef. It's a big beefcake of a console.
Yeah.
And I imagine the PS5 is very similar, and it's just this big honking fucking thing. It just draws power like a prick. But yeah, look, we might be needing a PS4 Pro, a PS5 Pro at some point, Max. Like, there's already reports. I think it's coming out of Evo, where like people that have put like headphone dongles and stuff on the back of the PS5s. Because the heat just pumping out of that console, it's like melting and fucking up USB systems, which is exciting.
Yeah, and a lot of people's controller inputs melted.
Yeah, and as like as we make bigger and more intense games, they're going to be pushing that system even harder. In the same way that the end of the PS4's life cycle, that motherfucker was like levitating. It was gutting so hard in that fan. And
I did remember how loud my PS4 was when I tried to play Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, and then like or another game like Last of Us Part 2, right? So that's like absolutely insane. Like I remember it's like, whoa. I'm like, oh my god, I think my fucking console's about to die. So I can't imagine whatever Naughty Dog do next would be nice to my console, and we have to think about these things, Mac, because Neil Druckmann has confirmed that he is writing and directing a currently unannounced PS5 game. What a fucking segue. That was some fucking high-level professional shit. And then I pointed out and ruined it. So shuffles within Naughty Dog's executive ranks have recently saw The Last of Us creator pronounced to co-studio head. But it looks like he's not going to retain the highly creative role within. So he will retain the highly creative role within the company as he turns his attention to the developer's next project. There's strong speculation that this will be The Last of Us Part 3, but there's also been talk of new IP being in the pipeline at the Californian company. Obviously, it's been over 3 years since The Last of Us Part 2 launched, and while the teams remade the original game and a TV show in the interim, it sounds like its long-anticipated standalone multiplayer spin-off game has gone back to the drawing board. Rough times if you're factions. But this is the thing, Max. Do you want to see Naughty Dog do something else?
Part of me is like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep doing what you're good at. You've been knocking it out of the park. Why go crazy? And then you look at Guerrilla, who did just that, and now they're the Horizon guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that was going to kind of be my point in that. Oh,
you never want to be pigeonholed as this thing, but if you're so good at it, like
it is one of those things where it's been so long. So like I think the development on Part 2 was about 5 years, and that came out in 2020. So let's just say 2015, 2016, through to 2023. That's 7 years. Let's say whatever this new game is will probably take 3 years, 4 years, because I imagine it's probably in early pre-production because they've been focusing on factions. So that means for the better part of like a decade minimum, Naughty Dog has just been working on The Last of Us. So I'd hate for you to work there and not give a fuck about, be there like, I don't care about Last of Us. And I love Part 2. And I think it does end in such a way that benefits from a Part 3.
Oh, for sure.
Do I want it? Yes, because obviously The Last of Us is brilliant, as was the TV series. But if we don't do something different, then PlayStation will get stagnant and boring. And new IPs is where it's at. That's how we get MCU shit. No, that's how we get Phase 4.
You say that PlayStation will become stagnant and boring, but you could argue that all their games are the same anyway.
Oh no, I'm not arguing that. For me, I love third-person over-the-shoulder action games.
Naughty Dog aren't going to be like, "Hey guys, we're making a fucking isometric CRPG as our next game." It's going to be fucking mint. Everyone's going to love it. No, that's not what they're going to do. They're going to make the same game with a slightly different story.
Yeah, and which is fine by me, because I love over-the-shoulder third-person action adventure games with narratively driven. Like, that's perfect for me. And Naughty Dog, that's right. Naughty Dog are the best in the biz when it comes to doing exactly that. So, yeah, give me that. Give me Last of Us, awesome. Give me something else, awesome. I have enough faith and trust to put something together, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, I still haven't watched this, but I know you've watched some of it.
Yeah,
let's talk about fucking Twisted Metal. So Peacock's adaptation of Twisted Metal for TV has only been out for a couple of weeks. NBC Universal has revealed that people couldn't tear their eyes off the screen for themselves off the couch, becoming the, quote, most binged new comedy series to date. On average, viewers watch roughly 3 episodes at a time. While the exact figures aren't shown, others knocked out all 10 in a single sitting. Nielsen's data finds that viewers watched Twisted Metal for a combined 400 million viewing minutes, making it one of the week's most watched streaming originals.
Well, even as you mentioned, your mum, big fan.
Yeah, my parents got real into it. They're like, "Have you watched Twisted Metal?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "You should watch it." I'm like, "I'm probably not going to."
Hearing this, reading this, does it kind of make you go, "Oh, maybe"?
No, not at all.
Really?
I don't like anyone in the show.
Well, actually, that's a very good point. Even before they announced Twisted Metal, you were very adamant. Fuck Anthony Mackie. For years, you've had that stance.
This could be about anything, and I still wouldn't watch it because I don't like any of the actors in the show.
Well, even the bird from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I mean, she's fine. But, I don't think I've ever really watched anything with Will Arnett in it. I don't give a shit about Samoa Joe. There's no one really in it.
Disgusting. That is the Ring of Honor TV champion right there, Max.
There's no one really in it that draws that I just don't care. And Twisted Metal's not a huge part of my childhood gaming.
No, and we both played it recently and went, "Oh, that was not a good idea."
If anything, it made me more or less likely to fucking watch the TV show. But yeah, I mean, everyone I've spoken to who said it's like, "Oh, it's really good. It's a comedy," and I'm like, "Okay, it's bizarre, but sure." I feel like if I wanted to watch a show that this is kind of like, I just should watch Mad Max.
Tonally, they're very different, but yeah, you technically probably could.
One's a comedy and one's not. But if I wanted that post-apocalyptic fucking car nonsense, and yeah.
I think you should at least watch episode 1.
Sorry, Peacock.
Watch episode 1 and then come back next week. What do you reckon?
Sure, fine. I'll watch episode 1.
I've watched 3, so I'll watch the remaining 7.
Maybe it'll become the most binged TV show in my house.
I doubt it. But I do kind of like the idea of you going, "Fuck this," and then let's say Wednesday, I get a message being like, "I've watched 7 episodes."
Yeah, I like the show, but I still fucking hate Anthony Mackie.
Fuck Anthony Mackie, that Falcon prick. But you know what? The cars are pretty cool. All right, so next piece of news. One of the big things to come out of ABK. Hey, the story's not about ABK. Everyone, fucking calm down. Was the discussion around cloud streaming?
With this.
Cloud streaming was always the big thing. So a little while ago, Sony has announced its plan to implement a cloud streaming service for the PS5 games specifically. While no time frame was provided, it did look as though we were going to be getting something close to launch of PS5. Sony had then been contacting selected users, PS Plus premium members specifically, inviting them to test out PS5 game streaming. Now, we shouldn't clarify this is in the US. No one reached out here that I'm aware of because their internet's ball bags. Once you have access to the test, which is separate to the PS5 software beta program, it's different, you'll be able to stream PS5 games featured in the PS Plus game catalog, as well as supported titles that you already own. It appears, you'll be able to choose a streaming resolution of up to 4K, depending on how speedy your internet is. There is no word on whether PS5 streaming will launch for all PS Plus members, but again, the fact that it's being publicly tested suggests it's not much farther away. This functionality will be part of Sony's, quote, aggressive plans in the cloud gaming space. Now, Max, I personally couldn't give a flying fuck about cloud gaming.
I think we've both said it on multiple times. I never ever want to fucking stream a game ever. The slightest bit of input lag does my head in. I don't know why anyone would want to do this. It's just a shittier version of playing the game that I already have. If I have the ability to download it, like assuming that you can stream it in 4K, it means you're going to be able to download that game in 20, 30 minutes anyway because your internet speed's that good. Just download the fucking game.
Yep.
You will have a better experience. Go make yourself a sandwich, have a cup of coffee, come back, game's done. You can play it properly.
Yeah. Or even then, for me, I look at this as going, oh, this is showing us what the Q Lite is supposed to be doing, in essence, right? But like, well, if this thing only does streaming, well, that's a little bit poo. Like, if you can only work in remote play, wow, this suddenly changes it. If the fact that we might be able to do, cloud streaming as well as remote play, the Q Lite suddenly becomes a slightly more interesting device for some people.
Yeah, no, it's not for me.
No, I like this. I like the idea. Cloud streaming is always good, but the laws of physics just get in the way, and latency is going to be a concern. So you need to specifically play games that require no input lag. Require the turn-based, probably the best way to go. Because if there's anything that has mild input delay, you don't want to play it because you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, have you ever wanted to go back and play an old PlayStation game?
Actually, no, I legitimately have. Because as I mentioned last week, when I set up my shelf, all my old PS2 games, my PS3 games, I'm like, I think I want to go back and play them.
And have you ever gone, I wish I could use my fucking PS4 or PS5 controller on my PlayStation 1?
Well, now that you mention it, yes, because those old controllers suck.
Well, fucking 8BitDo has your back.
Oh, that's good to know. This sounds like product placement. It's not. I'm just genuinely interested.
So, 8BitDo has been putting out some seriously cool tech for a while now. Its various controllers are some of the best third-party offerings that you can get. The company have just created their, quite possibly, most interesting gizmo yet for me. The 8BitDo Retro Receiver for PlayStation is a dongle you can plug directly into a PS1 or PS2 that lets you use your DualShock 4, DualSense, or Edge Boy to play your favorite games.
Oh, hello.
And it's only $25 US.
That's pretty sexual, actually.
Do you want to play PS1 games on your PS1 with your DualSense?
Well, I want to play PS3 games, and the PS3 controller is really light and pooey.
Nah, apparently it's only for PS1, PS2.
Well, fuck this thing. I don't want it anymore. Change your stance.
Change your stance. To be fair, you can use your PS4 controller and a PS3. You just have to have it plugged in via the USB cable.
Okay.
The only issue is the PlayStation button doesn't work, so you can never bring up the menu.
What?
PlayStation button doesn't work.
That's inconvenient because that's really important.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, let's get into the quick bitties, Max. So amid the ABK buyout, Modern Warfare 3 will be playable first on your PlayStation. This one came out this week through the TH Nordic.
How good is this? How good is this? I just literally did nothing of effort for this shout out on the quick bit. It's just, but that's it.
You just wrote South Park Snow Day, which you're lucky that I saw the trailer because I woke up and I was like, I remember seeing an email the day before about like, oh, these are all the times you can watch the THQ Nordic Showcase. I was like, oh, that's cool. I woke up, started scrolling through YouTube, and it's like South Park Snow Day. I'm like, the fuck is this? Because I love South Park. Essentially, it looks like a
really shitty 3D game.
Really shitty 3D sort of battle royale almost. So that's the problem with South Park. The second you make it 3D, it looks like poo. We saw it on PS1, we saw it on 64. It doesn't work in 3D. However, to their credit, it doesn't look as shitty, but it really doesn't look great either. So this looks to be, some sort of South Park battle royale, which is interesting. And I'll certainly be keen to have a look at it. I hope it's free, or at least very cheap. Alan Wake 2 is set for a brand new reveal at the opening night live Gamescom presentation, which is cool. That game's getting a lot of coverage, and it's coming out within 2 months, so that's pretty exciting. Keith David, not to be confused with Craig David, is set to take over as Destiny's Commander Zavala, so he will be replacing the posthumous Lance Reddick, the recently deceased Lance Reddick. Keith David, for me, he was in one of the latest seasons of of Community. Is where he has a very similar sort of lower register, smooth voice. So Lance Reddick and him are very, very similar. And watching Always Sunny again, as of late, as I do, there's an episode with Lance Reddick in it, and it's very funny.
He's the president in Rick and Morty.
Oh, is he? Even better. So are you happy with that, obviously, being the Destiny fan that you are?
It's not bad.
Yeah. Lies of P has gone gold ahead of its September launch. That's real soon, Max. Reverend Puck says also to not be confused with David Keith, because Keith David was he was also one of the heads in Halo as well.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of video games.
Yeah. Obviously, Lies of P getting you moist.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. According to the latest earnings calls, Take-Two is expecting to make big money this fiscal year 24. So it's possibly
next fiscal year. So
GTA 6 maybe. Well, certainly not coming from Red Dead Redemption 2. You fuckholes.
Well, why they only need to sell one fucking copy.
That's true.
All right, upcoming titles. This week, 15th of August, we have Black Skylands PS5, PS4, Everspace 2 PS5. Fireworld Pioneers coming to both, and Moving Out 2 coming to both. 16th of August, we have Rayland 2 coming to both. 17th of August, Dust and Neon PS5, Gord PS5, Hello Engineer both.
That's a Kentucky weird work on Hello Neighbor. Is it? I don't find out.
Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition PS5, Marble It Up Zero coming to both.
Oh my god, it's literally part of the Hello Neighbor universe. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, my son's gonna shit himself.
Red Dead Redemption PS4, Shadow Gambit The Cursed Crew coming to both, and Shinobi Non Grata PS4.
Oh my god, machinery building construction game set in the Hello Neighbor universe. No way.
And then on the 18th of August, we have Fort Solis PS5, Madden NFL 24 coming to both, Nico Journey coming to both, Psycho Shooting Stars Alpha PS4, Psycho Shooting Stars Bravo PS4, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre PS5. So the big ones there are obviously, apparently, fucking Hello Engineer and Moving Out too. Yeah, sorry, my son loves those Hello games. So not Hello games as in No Man's Sky, but yeah, anything from within that Hello Neighbor universe, he's a big fan of. So that'll be a big tick. What's the other thing you just mentioned? Moving Out certainly up there for me. Don't buy Red Dead Redemption for $100.
Yeah, wait for it to go on sale if it ever does. Madden, people like sports. That Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we've been getting emails about that for months.
Yeah, I think it's by the same guys who did Friday the 13th and all that. I think it's one of those games.
Yeah, people. Yep. All right, well, that does bring us to the end of the show. Big thank you to everyone for checking in and listening to the show. We much appreciate it. And for those of you that, as we discussed last week, watching on the YouTube, thank you. We certainly hope we can get those numbers back up. So please be sure to tell friends, family, anyone that might be interested in a PlayStation podcast that this one is available, and they might get a kick out of it, maybe, hopefully. Wait and see.
All right, everybody, let's do this. This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, you can. Come check out our socials, Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and the website formerly known as Twitter. All of those links are found in the description below. If
you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/PopCulturists. We watch and record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast service, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you watch us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. And if you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/PopCulturists, as well as our merchandise store, popculturists.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was For the Players. I just realized you're wearing your Manscaped shirt. You let everyone know that your balls are clean, your balls are doing well.
Wearing my Manscaped undies too. I've got full Manscaped.
You're on double scaped.
Totally not at the end of my washing list.